everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you just so happen to be joining me for the very first time, maybe you may have saw my thumbnail somewhere along your YouTube timeline and you decided to click on it because you were intrigued. I don't know, maybe by my picture, maybe by my thumbnail. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. For this video, I will be giving my final thoughts on the entire Can't Stop, Won't Stop line from NyxCosmetics. Now, for those of you who already know, NYX released the Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation along with the Can't Stop, Won't Stop primer last year when they did the collaboration with YouTube sensation Alyssa Ashley. And you guys already know that I love these two. So we're not going to focus too much in these over here. We are going to be focusing on the newest release to the Can't Stop, Won't Stop line. I think they dropped this in December, if I'm not mistaken. It would have been December. Yes, definitely December. They dropped the Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation, concealers, and the Can't Stop, Won't Stop setting powders, and I got the shade Banana. So for this video, I'm going to be using everything from the Can't Stop, Won't Stop line, and I'm going to be giving my final thoughts on these two babies right here. So if you are interested in learning, you know, whether or not I liked it, I didn't like it, I'm on the fence, I'm not sure, I'm in between, and please stay tuned. So we're gonna be real candid this year. You know, we're gonna be a little bit more realistic about how black girls actually get dressed. You know, we always have our head tied up with something, especially if we might have, you know, put on a little edge control and we put a little thing over it to try to keep it down, keep everything in place. Yes, we're gonna be a little bit more candid this year and just be realistic about the way that we get dressed and the way that we apply our makeup. So this is usually how I do it. So let's get started. Okay, so I really wanted to do a test run just to see how all of the products from the Can't Stop, Won't Stop line actually work together, because I know there are some brands that, you know, the primer only works well with the corresponding foundation, concealer, powder, and all that. So I bought everything from the Can't Stop, Won't Stop line in terms of the complexion products. You guys already know that I have the Can't Stop, Won't Stop matte primer. I did a review on this and the foundation when NYX did the collaboration with Alyssa Ashley last. Definitely still one of my favorite inexpensive foundations. It's just amazing. They also released Can't Stop, Won't Stop not foundation, this is a concealer down there, concealer, and I am the shade, well, sorry, I bought the shade because I don't know, this is my shade. What is this? Oh, Warm Honey. And I also bought the Can't Stop, Won't Stop setting powder, and this is in the shade Banana. So I'm just gonna do a full face of using these complexion products from NYX, and I'm just going to give my initial first impression and my final, well, my overall thoughts on the entire Can't Stop, Won't Stop line. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, I've already gotten started. I prime my skin, of course, using the Can't Stop, Won't Stop matte primer. You know, if I had to compare this to, let's say, a high-end brand primer, I would definitely say this is the dupe for the Becca Ever Matte. What is this? The Becca Ever Matte Priming Poreless Perfected, the very long name. I've used it so many times in my previous videos, like when I first started YouTube, so you guys know which primer I'm talking about. But you know, when you're using a primer that's as matte as this one and the one from Becca, you probably might want to use some face serums, you know, to kind of counteract your skin actually overly producing oils, because I find when you use a primer that's as matte as this one, it's almost like your skin is trying to find the right balance between your skin's moisture and, you know, you trying to suck the ever-living life out of your skin by applying such a matte primer. So always hydrate your skin with a skin serum, a facial serum first before using a mattifying primer that's as matte as this one or the one from Becca. Alright, so I'm already primed. Let's go in with our NYX foundation. Okay. All right. You guys already know I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You know, I already love the foundation. So I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows, because y'all know my eyebrows are practically non-existent. I mean, they're there, but they're just so... And if they look kind of crazy right now, it's really because I've been trying to grow them out, because I'm trying to give myself an even higher arch, you know. I'm working something out, you know, we're working something out. So let me just fill my eyebrows in. All right, so we got some eyebrows on, and I am going to, these things are beyond so tight. I'm trying to get into the concealer next, but this is like really tough. Okay, we got some off, we got most of it off. All right, and I told you guys already, I bought the shade Warm Honey, and let me see what Warm Honey looks like. She's looking really golden and pretty. This is what she looks like. So I think she can work. I really think she can work. So let me just go in and highlight the areas that I normally highlight. Wow, this is really, the consistency of this is actually reminding me of my ColourPop No Filter concealer in the shade number 40. I have the shade numbers 40 and 48. I think when I initially purchased it, I bought the shade 40, and this is how 40 was looking. It was looking really, really golden, really yellow. And I bought 48 because 48 was just a little bit more subtle. So you know what? I'm not going to add any more. I'm just going to blend this out and see how she blends. Let's see how she blends first. Let's see how she blends. Okay, this is really thick. I think I need to wet this real quick. Well, wet it some more. This is like super thick. So I decided to use my Black Opal beauty sponge. For some reason, I really have been loving this sponge to blend out my under eye concealers. This sponge is like, I put my head on a block and said this is like a dupe to the Beauty Blender beauty sponges. This is just amazing. It's so soft, and oh, I really think I applied way too much of this concealer, but we're gonna work with it. Don't worry, we're gonna work with it. The one thing I can actually say, because I only went to wet my beauty, sorry, not my beauty blender, I only went to wet my beauty sponge, and that took me like 2.5 seconds, and this has already dried down. So let me just take some time here to blend this out, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that while I'm talking, so let me just blend this out. Okay, the only way I'm going to get this to blend out is to add a little bit of a creamy concealer over it. So I'm using another NYX concealer. This one is the HD Studio Photogenic Concealer, and I'm just going to add this just to the edges because that was my fault. I did not know that this concealer would have dried so quick, and yeah, it's definitely helping. Now I can actually move around this a little bit more, but at least the edges, because you know it was gonna leave that really weird line of demarcation, and I didn't really want that, so I had to go in with another concealer, and you know, thankfully it's another NYX concealer, so everything seems to be working out really well. I'm going to highlight the other areas, but now that I know this concealer dries so quickly, I'm just going to blend it out right away. Well, that was intense. Note to self, whenever you're using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, please be sure to blend it out right away. Do not leave it to dry down. That baby is quick drying, okay? All right, so I'm just going to set it in place using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop setting powder. This one is in the shade Banana. I don't know, looking from the outside, I find this is a really weird shade of yellow. It's kind of reminding me of like an egg crate type of yellow. You know, when you're buying a dozen eggs and you have that really, oh my God, when am I gonna get this out while I'm here talking? Let me try to get something pointy, like maybe an eyelash scissors or something, because this is gonna take me all day. But I was saying, you know, looking at the bottle, maybe it's just me. I'm gonna have to wait until I actually get the product out. But looking at it, it looks like that really weird shade of yellow that you'd find on an egg crate, which is listen. What is going on? 5 seconds. I got it out. You know what I just realized when I opened this is that it has this like inner thing right here, and this actually might be a good idea, I guess, whenever you close it back, You know, usually when you have a translucent powder and then there's the sifter at the top and you close it back, you know, you just have all that product to the top right there. But if you have something like this, like what NYX did, this is really cool. This would actually keep the product, you know, from getting all messy and all over the place. But what I was saying is that let me shake it up a little bit. The yellow is like a really weird shade of yellow. I don't know, it's reminding me of like an egg crate. It's just a really weird shade of yellow. And the consistency of it, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It's kind of reminding me of baby powder, you know, that stiff talky type of powder. Listen, let me see what the ingredients are in this, because this powder feels really weird. I've never felt a translucent powder that feels like this. It feels really weird. It literally feels like baby powder. So the ingredients are aluminum starch, I don't know what that big word is, water, nylon, something in here. But let me not judge it from how it feels. Let me just see how it actually works. All right, I think I did a bad thing by shaking it up so much, but let me see what this baby is going to look like when I apply her to my face. Let's see, girl, let's see. Oh, the one thing I have to say from the concealer, I actually love the way how it melted straight into my skin. Even though she's thick and she's kind of had to, you know, she's thick and she's quick drying, she was a little bit difficult to blend out. But now that she is blended out to the way how I like it, because I can't really say to perfection, I'm really digging the way it melted into my skin. It looks really good. All right, let me just add a little bit more of this powder. I'm not gonna lie, it literally feels like baby powder. It doesn't look like baby powder on my skin. It doesn't feel, sorry, it doesn't blend out like baby powder. I actually expected this to be sitting on top of my skin, but for some reason it's blending in really well. But when I touched it just now, when I opened it, it felt like baby powder. It literally felt like baby powder, like Johnson's baby powder or one of those brands. It really did feel like that, for real, like for real. But the yellow is a really weird shade of yellow. I don't know what type of yellow this is, but you see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now that it's like melting into my skin, right? You could actually see what it's doing here. It's like highlighting my pores. I don't like powders that do that. That's just not cool. Like, I know I have big pores, and any translucent powder that does this, that just highlights my pores, I hate it. I'm sorry, NYX, but why are you doing this to me? I already know I have big pores, and your your setting powder is just highlighting it. Let me just see if maybe if I add a little bit more, if that's going to help. Let me see. Let's see what it does. Oh my god, it's making it worse actually. And this is what I'm talking about. You could actually see how the powder is just sitting on top of my skin. It's literally not blending in. By the way, I love the concealer, I have to say that, but I don't like what the powder is doing here. It's just highlighting my pores, and it's not blending in the way I expect it. It's just literally sitting on top of my skin like a baby powder. It feels like a baby powder, and it looks like a baby powder. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Look at me. I look like a baby's butt. What? What is this? Let me try to do the rest of my face. I don't know, maybe I need to give it like a minute or something. Let me try to do the rest of my face and see what's going to happen here, because what is that? Okay guys, so I am back and I completed the rest of my face, and I have to say I am seriously not liking the way how this powder is just sitting on top of my skin. It really isn't blending in. and it is just annoying me. Like, I really hate products that just highlight my my pores, because I already have large pores. I do not need you to be giving it extra attention. Excuse me, ma'am. But let me just wrap up my final thoughts. Overall, you guys already know I love the primer and the foundation. That's from last year's review. If you haven't seen last year's review where I reviewed the foundation and the primer, you can just, actually I'm gonna place the link in the bottom of this video, in the description box of this video. So my final thoughts on the concealer. The concealer is amazing. It's actually a full coverage concealer, and it actually reminds me of both my Kevyn Aucoin and my Fenty concealers. It's and also the consistency of it, the yellowness of it reminds me of my ColourPop no filter concealer. So it kind of reminds me of a combination of three of them, so to speak, if that makes sense. The consistency of it reminds me of the ColourPop, but the full coverageness, if that's the word, I just invented one, of it reminds me of both my Fenty and my Kevyn Aucoin concealers. So I am loving this. I absolutely love this. I do however feel like I need to maybe go up a shade or two more. I feel like this is a really super bright highlight. So if I'm going to use this in the future, I'm probably going to use a teensy bit of it, also because it's quick drying. So if you're thinking about trying the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, please bear in mind that this concealer dries really quick, so you're gonna have to blend that baby out like as soon as you put her on. And this powder, first of all, the first thing that threw me is the fact that the banana is not a banana. It just reminded me of a really weird shade of yellow, and I'm not even sure what kind of yellow this is. It just reminded me of an egg crate, those egg crate yellow, and it's not the best type of yellow. It's not flattering on somebody like me, because I have warm undertones and it really didn't do anything for me. And the fact that it just sat on top of my skin and it just highlighted my pores even more, that really just put me off. So I don't think I'm going to be using this. I'm not sure if it's going to work for anybody else. I always tell people, everybody's skin is different, so what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So if you want to give it a try, then just go ahead. But for me personally, I have oily skin and it just made my skin look dry and patchy. I'm sure you guys saw that when I actually went closer to the camera. I just didn't like that. So love the concealer, no to the what is it, setting powder. Alright guys, so that is it for my final thoughts on the entire line of the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, should I say complexion line? Yeah, they are pretty much complexion products. Yeah, the complexion products from NYX, the Can't Stop Won't Stop line. If you happen to have appreciated this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up on your way out. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button that is somewhere down here. And also, if you want to be alerted for future uploads, please also be sure to click the bell button. The bell button is going to alert you via email whenever I have a new upload on my channel. Thank you guys so much for being here with me once again, and I'll talk to you guys real soon on my next upload. Bye bye.